from Capitol Hill in this morning interview since he announced his retirement plans. Republican Senator from Oklahoma, Senator Tom Coburn. Tom, thank you so much for being with us.
Glad to be with you guys. How are you?
We always love having you here, and just want you to know our thoughts and prayers are with you. I know you've had some health battles in the past, and you've always come out on top, and we're hoping all goes well with you.
Oh, I'm doing well from a health standpoint. Got great docs, and fortunately, even though my new coverage won't cover my specialist, I'm going to have great care, and I have a great prognosis.
Well, good. You did say, I think accurately, that people, for as long as you've been in Washington, people should probably be more concerned with your mental health than your physical health.
You bet.
So the president, a guy that you worked with when you were in the Senate with him, the president's going up, delivering yet another State of the Union address. And Tom, you've been in Congress, I guess, 9 years, 10 years, been in the Senate. Chuck Todd just told us something pretty depressing, that Americans have believed that this country, their country, has been on the wrong track for a decade now. That's unprecedented. How can we turn that around?
Oh, it's all leadership, Joe. You know, what you need is principled, character-based, moral-based leadership that puts the country and the people first, not a political party first, not my to-do list first, but what our nation was founded on, and that's both liberty and equality. And when you have an imbalance of either, we're in trouble. And so what we need is real leadership. My friend has used the politics of division more than any president I know in my lifetime. And what you have today is tremendous anxiety in our country, tremendous worry about our country. And what we need is a healing leader that will talk truthfully to the country about what our real problems are and the sacrifices that are going to be required if we're to solve them. And leadership is about sacrifice, giving yourself way to do the best right thing in the long term for our country. Not the best right thing for the Republican Party or the Democrat Party, but the best right thing. And when you care more about elections than you do the country, and the leaders of the political parties do, what you're seeing is an unwinding of the confidence in our country that's required to keep a republic together.
Tom, those are obviously strong words against Barack Obama. Tell me, why do you believe he's been the most divisive president in your lifetime?
No, I said he uses the politics of division. Politics of division,
okay.
Yeah, I don't think he's the most divisive necessarily, but using that creates a lack, it undermines confidence.
Well, give me an example.
And what we need to do is bring people together. What we need to do is define what are we about and what are our goals as a nation. You know, if we have great leadership and we bring people together, then what we're going to see is no matter what the problem is, the confidence of people, if you're speaking truthfully about the confidence, about what the real problems are, then you create a predicate for solving them. If you don't speak about what the real problems are, but you talk about the symptoms of the problem, you don't have any predicate to build the political base or the unanimity that is required in the country to be able to solve those.
We've been talking for some time. I say we, Bill Kristol, myself, some other Republicans. I know you felt the same way, that for some time we Republicans need to do more than just be against what the president is for. We have to present our own viable alternatives, our conservative alternatives, and show how that's going to make America better. You're doing that specifically. You're putting your money where your mouth is on health care. Talk about it.
Well, you know, there's no question that we need to redirect our resources and how we approach health care in our country. I think we went the exact wrong direction with the Affordable Care Act. It's actually unaffordable. And if you actually look at the numbers of where we are today, you have 330-some thousand people who are newly insured. and you have 2 million people who've lost all their insurance. So we didn't fix it, and we expanded a broken system rather than repair a broken system in Medicaid, which promises people access, and then when they go to get it, there is no access. So what we've done is we've said, let's go the other direction, and we've put out a bill that gives the great protections that were in the Affordable Care Act in terms of pre-existing illness, and created a way so people can have their own personal choice, make their own decisions rather than the government making decisions for them. And we move healthcare back to a patient-centered healthcare that is both state-centered and patient-centered, where we're not mandating, here's what you must do, here's how you must do it, and here's the penalty. We eliminate the penalty. We trust people that they're going to act in their own best interest. And so we have put out on the table ideas that won't cost anything. They'll save money. We'll cut $1 trillion of the taxes the 20-some taxes that have been in the Affordable Care Act back out, and that money will be used by people to actually get great care with their choice, with what they think they need for their family. And I have a little bit of experience in medicine, quite a bit of experience in business, and I think that what we have offered is something that we can be for and proudly defend against all the attacks. I was really disturbed yesterday when Jay Carney lambasted what we did without even knowing what we did, which tells you something. What we have done is put out a pretty good policy paper that even critics of what we had put out before say is a vast improvement. So, again, it's all about the politics rather than the country. And that's one of the reasons I think I need to go and work in other ways to try to help heal our country. And it's 10 years in the Senate's enough for anybody.
Yeah. Thomas.
Sir, this is Thomas Roberts. I think a lot of people would hear what you're saying about how D.C. is not working as a cohesive, divided unit. The intent of the country is to be a two-party system. But we have come together as a majority of a country on federal elections in 2008 and then again in 2012 to elect President Obama. We see that Americans have kept the division in Congress after 2010. So it's not so much that there's been a politics of divisions playing from the White House. It's the American people that have elected to keep us divided. And the fact that we know that on the very first night that President Obama was elected in 2008, people gathered together on the right to say, what can we do to make this a one-term president? That didn't happen. And now we have the continued conversation over Obamacare, with the first mandate coming up on March the 31st for Americans to be involved. So do you think that you continue to fight a losing battle when it comes to dredging up problems with Obamacare?
No, I don't think so. I think Obamacare is designed to fail. It will fail in terms of, if you're really wanting to improve the access to health care in terms of a way to give people really access, it's not going to accomplish it, and it's going to cost a fortune. So I think it's a failure already, website or not. It doesn't have anything to do with the website. The fact is that what was designed and what will be designed in terms of the employer mandate and what you're going to see in terms of cost. Look, people who have re-signed up even with subsidies to much worse insurance products for them in terms of deductibles. So when you net out what's happened with the Affordable Care Act, is right now it's a 7-to-1 loser for people as far as insurance. For every new person that got insurance, 7 people lost their insurance that had insurance. So this isn't going to work. And the reason it isn't going to work is because you're trying to dictate and mandate into the insurance industry something that's going to eventually collapse the insurance industry.
Senator, this is Michael Steele. Real quick before we go, it's good to see you. You make a very good point on health care, but tonight we're going to have 3 responses by Republicans to the State of the Union. How do we galvanize the country around an idea, a unifying principle, when we've got 3 different messages that are going to be out there tonight around, instead of talking about something as concise as you just laid out?
Well, first of all, the vast majority of America isn't going to pay attention to this speech, and the vast majority of America isn't going to pay attention to any of the responses to it. What you do is, in your own life, you demonstrate leadership principles that talk about what you're for, and when you're pointing out what's wrong with something, you have to have a solution that's different than it. And what you have to do is not be critical of the motivation, but critical of the idea and its result. And so, you know, you can disagree with somebody without being disagreeable, and you can hope to change them with good ideas and a pleasant manner. And you know, this is a speech, great. The fact is if you really want to work with Congress, you got to be willing to sit down, rub elbows, compromise, and say we're going to go. And what we're hearing in this speech is, if you don't do what I want, I'm going to do it through executive order. And again, that's creating a division in the country that says Congress is bad and I'm good, so therefore I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I think that's the wrong way to lead.
All right, Senator Tom Coburn, always good to see you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right.